Hi guys, welcome to my December videos. This is Pisces Priestess, and for any of those that are new joining my channel, I want to thank you. And I also want to thank you guys for the last time I checked, there was 347 followers, and that is just so amazing to me. Now I'm aware that that's a small number. Some tarot readers have, well, I guess YouTube readers, some YouTube people, YouTubers, they have millions of followers, but I'm in my corner of the world. I'm one person. This is my story, and I can't believe that there are over 300 people who watch my videos and care about my messages, and that to me is just the best thing. I never thought that this would take off so fast, so I want to thank each and every one of you for for subscribing to my channel. It means so much to me. Your comments mean so much, guys. And here I am in December recording the videos for you now. And, part of me can't believe it. Part of me is like, it's December, So, and it is an intense month indeed. We are in Sagittarius season this month. And at the end of the month, we will be entering in Capricorn season. Now, this month is all about, I would say the first half of the month is all about communication. It's all about enlightening truth. It's all about our beliefs. It's all about our higher knowledge. And I say this because we have a third house and a ninth house opposition. Every month we have, the moon has a chance to be full in light, and it has a chance to be completely absent in light. So we call that a full moon and a new moon. The new moon is going to be happening in a few days on the 18th, and it's going to be a new moon in Sagittarius. We had the full moon already. So if you're watching this, we experienced a full moon on the December 3rd. And you guys know me, I like to cover the astrology in my intro videos, and we'll talk a little bit more about some things that apply to the individual signs in the videos. So the first thing that really happened in December was that full moon. That full moon completely changed my life. It was very enlightening. It was a very mutable moon. We always have a mutable moon before we have a cardinal moon. And that's very interesting. I am a mutable sign. The mutable signs are Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius. We're in a mutable season, okay? And it makes sense why mutable would come before cardinal, because mutable signs are all about change. It's all about adaptability. So a lot of people don't realize this, but whatever season we're in, it kind of flows with that kind of change. So when we reach a mutable signs represent the end. We start out with Aries, and then we go, that's a cardinal, and then we go to Taurus, and that's fixed. And then we move to Gemini, and that is mutable. And then there's 3. And then we start again to Cancer, and that will be a cardinal. So we've reached Sagittarius season, and that means that it's like a cycle almost that's ending. And it makes sense that it's mutable, because in order to create action, which is what a cardinal sign would be, and that would be Capricorn energy coming in, we had to initiate change. You can't apply action to something before changing, okay? You have to make the decision to change before you can, make action towards something. So that's how our universe works, and right now it's a time for change. Everybody is changing in so many different ways. You thought that was just in Scorpio season, huh? But it's definitely kicking off here in Sagittarius season. Another thing is, around this time of year, there's a lot of other changes happening as well. We come up on the winter solstice, and that's the shortest day of the year. Very, very powerful day of the year. That would be on the 21st. Some people consider it to be on the 22nd. But I would say the 21st is the winter solstice. Now, we're jumping a little bit ahead. We have a few things happening before that. So we covered the full moon in Gemini. So that was completions, and that's happening in different areas of our life, you guys. I'll talk a little bit about that in the videos here. And then we had a Mercury retrograde on the same day as the Gemini full moon. I'm sure if you watch other readers, they're talking about this as well. It's very interesting because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So for Mercury to go retrograde on the same day as a Gemini full moon, very significant. We had that. It's been retrograde for a couple weeks now, week and a half, and it will go back direct on the 22nd, okay? Then, of course, I wanted to mention on the 18th, we have a Sagittarius stellium in the sky. Okay, that's very important in different areas of our life, guys. Very important to know where Sagittarius is for us. For example, for me, a Pisces, Sagittarius is my 10th house. Okay, so that's all about career, it's all about long-term goals, things like that. So it's wise to know where Sagittarius falls in your chart and also in your personal chart. In my personal chart, Sagittarius falls in my 12th house, in my 11th house. So there's going to be a stellium there for me, and well, for us. And what a stellium is when three or more planets are coupled together in the sky. So on that day, okay, especially very, very important for Sagittarius, but very important for all of us because we're all under the same universe. We all connected to the same light. And, you know, this is going to be very, very important for us. All about our beliefs, all about higher knowledge, even travel, philosophy. So we're going to have the sun in Sagittarius on the 18th. We're going to have the moon. We're going to have Saturn. We're going to have Venus. And we're also going to have, what is that last planet? Mercury? It might be Mercury. But I know that there are 5 planets. It is Mercury. It is Mercury. Mercury is going to be in Sagittarius until... I know it moves into Capricorn, but it might not move into Capricorn this month. I'm not sure. So it will be Mercury though. I don't have here that Mercury's moving right now. So there's going to be that powerful stellium in Sagittarius. I wanted to mention that to you guys. We had Chiron go direct in Pisces. Very, very important. Moving forward with pain. Whereas before we were dealing with a lot of past pain. So now this is the chance to heal ourselves in the moment. We went back into the past for a really long time to heal past wounds, okay? That's the wounded healer, Chiron. We had Mars enter Scorpio on the 9th. We have a Saturn entering Capricorn. Okay, that is one of the most, I would say one of the most important astrological aspects this month. Okay, we all have Capricorn in a different spot in our chart, you guys, but Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is coming home, all right? I'm going to try my best to do Saturn videos. I think I'm going to schedule them in around, because I never do my videos before around the 15th. I like the month to take its course for a couple months. That way I can work with the energy. I can feel what's already happened. It comes out in my readings. We could talk about what's happening now, and then we can talk about what's gonna happen. So a past, present, and future type of thing. With that being said, I'll probably wait for Saturn to be in Capricorn for about a week. And at the same time, I have a Cap rising, so I believe I'm going to be doing a lot of meditations and just initiations with my ruling planet. So yeah, I'll probably be able to get to those Saturn videos beginning of January, I want to say. Okay, so be on the lookout for my Saturn videos. I'm going to record what I think Saturn means in astrology and what I think Saturn will be doing. We're all going to have our karma shift. Saturn rules is the lord of karma. So, you know, instead of it being in the 9th house of Sagittarius, it's going to move into Capricorn, the 10th house, but it's a different house for all of us. So after that, Saturn moves into Capricorn. I mean, it's like boom, boom, boom. 18th, we have a new moon. 19th, we have Saturn moving into Capricorn. 21st, we have a winter solstice. The sun moves into Capricorn the 21st too. On the 25th, Venus moves into Capricorn. And of course, for those of you who celebrate Christmas, that would be Christmas there. And then we have a happy numerology year. I myself, as an astrologer, I consider the new year to start on March 20th when the sun enters Aries. Yay! That will be that's when the whole universe shifts paradoxes, right? But numerology has a factor here. So instead of 2017, universal year 1, and I should do a whole video on universal year 1. Our universe has these 10-year cycles, right? And 2017 was a brand new cycle. It was a universal year 1. And I'm not hearing a lot of astrologers talking about that. So I might do my best to put out a video soon about that as well. Perhaps at the end of January when we're in a universal year 2. So, you know, we're officially initiating, and we've ended the first chapter to a new cycle, and then we'll be entering chapter 2, universal year 2. Also, I do believe next month we have an Aquarius eclipse. I did put that down here at the bottom, but I believe I will talk about that a little bit more next month. And another thing I didn't put here is around the 19th, when Saturn moves into Capricorn, we're also going to be on the cusp of prophecy, okay? Very powerful cusp. And I believe it would end on the 25th when Venus enters Capricorn. So very powerful month. That was just a little bit of my basic notes. I don't want to make this intro video too long because my videos, guys, are pretty long this month. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the readings that what you can look forward to in my video. So this month I wanted to do a 9-card spread because Sagittarius is the 9th sign. I'm using, I guess I should have got these out before, but I'm using my Indigo Angel deck. I thought that was so beautiful. Sagittarius is such a light sign. You know, they are the mutable fire sign, very, very light sign, very, very light energy. So I'm going to be using my Indigo Angel deck to get the first 9 cards, and then of course I'll be using the original Whiter Ray Tarot. Kind of as clarifiers, but as more so as an extension, just to get a better idea of what the energies have been. I've done a few readings. Sorry guys, my voice is a little cracky, but I've done a few readings already, and they are very powerful, very, very powerful. They're a little bit longer because obviously there's 9 cards, and then I put 9 cards over that, so 9 plus 9 is 18, 8 plus 1 is 9. So I thought that was very beautiful to have some numerology playing. I like to have a theme sometimes, so I have this kind of 18 card spread this month, guys. It's a lot of cards, but it's what do you expect with this? Is kind of what these readings are becoming is kind of an overlook of the whole year. Okay, there's a lot of energy coming up, and it's because I'm a Pisces. You know, I represent the last house of the zodiac. So 12 is a very powerful number for me. You know, I didn't even really realize that, but we're in the 12th month. Spirit works in 12s a lot, and it's because 1 plus 2 is 3, and Spirit works in trinities. So this is a very powerful month numerology wise. The 12th of this month, 12/12, was a very powerful day as well. So we're really, really coming up on the end of a cycle here, guys, and December is what is the symbols behind that. It's kind of symbolic for that. So that's what I'm doing for the readings. And also I want to thank Capricorn and Sagittarius because I was looking, I wanted to start doing kind of some giveaways type of things, making my readings a little special. So I looked, I'm not sure how it is now, but I looked about the beginning of January. I looked at my videos, checked the feedback, and Capricorn had the most likes. Sagittarius had the most views. So I will be pulling an extra card for your guys' reading this month, and it's going to be from the Wisdom of the House of Knights. I figured, you know, that would be a nice, because these cards here really cover some hidden energies. It's all about the night and what's hidden. And since there's so much light going on, you know, it might be nice to know what's behind the scenes. So Sagittarius, Capricorn, thank you so much for liking my videos and for, you know, viewing my videos. It kind of worked out because this is your guys' birthday month, so happy birthday. This is my present to you. And next month we'll see who has the most views and who has the most likes, and I will do something fun with that. Also guys, I am adding sage this month to my videos. I have incense and I have sage. I think incense are a very, very powerful method of honoring the air element and honoring the fire element. Incense are air and fire, and that's exactly what we're dealing with this month, is Sagittarius, a fire sign, and air, Gemini. So I'm working with incense for everybody. That's for all the videos. I thought about maybe having that as my giveaway, like maybe some videos have an incense, but actually I'm just in need. These are very powerful energies this month, guys. I'm tapping into a lot of things behind the scenes. You know, I'm going to get some very powerful messages out here so that we could head into our new year, so we can head into 2018, I should say, with clear intent. There's been a lot that's happened this year. 2017 was an extremely enlightening year for me, and I hope it was for you guys too. Now, enlightening isn't always easy. It can be very hard to wake up to the truth and to see things that you didn't see before. So, excuse me, my throat chakra. But yeah, it can be very, very intense waking up to all these things. And I think we've come a long way. I think it's been extremely transforming, and I'm actually very proud of all of us, especially those of us who went inside, went inwards, and done the work needed. Those people, we're really going to be rewarded this month. We're really going to be rewarded next year, okay? So I do think that that's all, guys. Those are the readings I'm doing. I'm really excited to get the rest of them done. Very, very, very special, powerful messages. And other than that, you guys, we made it. It's the end of the year. I can't believe it. But I hope you have the rest of the, I don't know what time, when you guys are going to be watching this, but I hope you have the rest of the great, I always can't say that part. I hope you have, I hope the rest of your month is great. Okay, this is what I mean. There's a lot of energies. It's a lot to cover, but I'm going to do my best to just, you know, go with the flow. That's what's best for me. And, you know, maybe that will be what's best for you too, especially with all these energies going on here, okay? I do hope you enjoy your readings this month, and I hope you enjoy your holiday and your new year. And other than that, I will talk to you guys next year. See you later. Hi, Scorpio. How are you guys doing? It's Pisces Priestess here with your December tarot reading. And of course, my incense, if you can't see. So I'm going to try to move this somewhere. I can't move it there, so I guess I'll just keep it up here. Ooh, I love that smell. It's called Divine Blessings, and I got it from Sleeping Tiger in the mall. If any of you are interested, I think they're at any spiritual stores. So I'm really excited to be sitting here doing you guys' reading. I always look forward to the Scorpio readings, honestly. It's interesting. What comes out for the Scorpio reading, I do relate to the more so hidden energies in the universe, because you guys are the 8th house. So, like everyone else, Scorpio, we are all going through quite a lot this month. My readings are pretty intense, so just emotionally prepare yourself for that. So I'm going to do what I did for everyone else, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what it is that's going on for you astrologically in the universe for this month. So Scorpio as a constellation in the sky. So let's see here. Scorpio is going through 2nd and 8th house energy, just like Taurus, except for opposite. So whereas Taurus is going through, Gemini is their 2nd house, you're going through Sagittarius, which is your 2nd house. So we have, you know, and it's interesting because you are a part of that opposition. You are the 8th house, and Taurus is the 2nd house. You and Taurus are opposite signs. So on the 3rd, we had a full moon in Gemini, which would be your 8th house. Your 8th house is occupied by Gemini energy in the universe. So it's interesting that you have a mutable communication sign as your 8th house. I think that could be pretty interesting. Yeah, because Scorpios, they sometimes talk about darkness, and sometimes they don't. So that's very Geminian. It makes sense that Gemini would be your 8th house. So we did have a full moon in your 8th house. Interesting. That's very, very interesting, Scorpio. That means that full moon was quite personal to you, and that there could have been a lot of hidden transformation, a lot of intimate, you know, initiations that you were going through behind the scenes. And I'm going to do my best to get some messages out for you today that will help explain that. I should have saged before your reading, but I saged before I did the Libra reading. So I do believe that the negative energies are, you know, we're just gonna, me and you can work together to keep those out of here, right? So we decline any unwanted interference. So interesting that on the full moon in your 8th house, we had Mercury go retrograde in your 2nd house. Sagittarius is your 2nd house, okay? And Sagittarius is all about expansion. Sagittarius is all about philosophy and long distance travel. Sagittarius energy really does ask people why it is that we believe what we believe. And for you, Scorpio, it's the expansion of your house of value. You know, the 2nd house is all about what you value. It's all about the personal resources that you have as an individual. And the 8th house is about shared resources. It's about intimacy. You know, it's pretty intimate to share anything that's personal for us with another person, whether that be money or emotions or secrets. It doesn't matter. It's a very intimate process there. So we did have Mercury go retrograde in your 2nd house at the same time that certain completions and new beginnings were taking place with your 8th house. So that's pretty interesting. We'll see how that is working for you in December. So Mercury is retrograde in your 2nd house of value and finances and resources until the 22nd. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it's all about communication And the way I see it, it's almost as if our minds go stationary for a minute. They kind of pause. And, you know, as humans, we kind of go crazy around that time of Mercury goes retrograde at least 4 times a year, sometimes 3, I believe. But it goes retrograde for about a little bit shorter than a month, and it is a crazy time. You know, this is the time when communication is all bizarre, and I can definitely say that communication with me has been quite bizarre. So Mercury retrograde, you know, it does screw up things, but I do see Mercury retrograde as a very beneficial astrological event that takes place. You know, I know whenever there's a Mercury retrograde, it's time to prepare for certain things to go back into the past. And since this is the last retrograde of the year, this retrograde is covering everything that we've went through the entire year. So it's a little bit different than any retrograde that we may have experienced. So if there's any mental, you know, confusion, just know that that's gonna improve around the 22nd. Towards the end of this month, I do see things getting a lot better and a lot easier for people. So moving on, just know that Mercury did go retrograde in your second house. So if there's anything going on with finance, this could be a good thing. This could be a very good thing, because who knows? There could have been an opportunity. There could have been an opportunity that you missed financially in the beginning of the year that Mercury retrograde is going to take you back to. Okay, so there's a lot of closings this month financially for Scorpio. You know, my dad's a Scorpio. My stepdad is a Scorpio, and he sold a house that we've lived in for, I mean, and this is a very old house, very old energy. I'm so proud of him for selling that. And I do believe that that happened because of the Mercury retrograde, with, of course, the help of Jupiter in your guys' sign still. So just know, whatever energies come out today, you have Jupiter. You know, Jupiter is my traditional ruler. So let me just speak on behalf of Jupiter to Scorpio that Jupiter is a very lucky planet. It's about fortune. It takes areas of your life and expands them to a completely higher level. Like, you may have thought that you understood a situation, but then Jupiter comes in. It's the biggest planet in our solar system, and it really does take situations and it enlightens you even more on why this is happening. So, you know, we do have Jupiter and Scorpio to help you out, you guys. So on the 18th, very, very special day. Today's the 16th. I am hoping and praying that these videos are uploaded by the 18th, because there's just too much going on, and I want to get the messages out that I have to share as soon as I can, because I think sooner the better. All right. On the 18th, we do have a Sagittarius new moon. This is your second house, you guys. So this is an opportunity to plant seeds when it comes to your value. You could be setting intent for your future. So this is a time to really manifest and to set goals for new jobs or new financial situations. If you want to extend or expand your resources, you can definitely do that. Okay, very, very cool to have Sagittarius as your second house. And we have a new moon there, so we're not going to be able to see the moon. It's going to be completely hidden, and it's going to be completely dark in the sky. So this is a chance for us to really wander about and really get creative with what we want to see happen come the Cancer full moon next month. And that moon is important for Pisces. It's important for Scorpio. It's important for Cancer. It's important for all the water signs. It's important for everyone and where their water energy is. But first, before every full moon, there's going to be a new moon. And in some cases, depending on how you look at it, the full moon comes before the new moon. So for you, on the 18th, in a couple of days, and there's going to be a stellium, okay? It's not only a new moon, there's a Sagittarius stellium. So there's going to be so many planets in your second house. Saturn has been in your second house for 4 years. And we're going to talk a little bit about Saturn moving into your third house of Capricorn soon, because that's something happening this month too. But let's talk about the stellium real quick. We're going to have the sun in your second house. We're going to have the moon in your second house. We're going to have Venus in your second house. We're going to have Saturn and Mercury all together. That's a huge, important stellium, all trying to work, and it's really pinpointing the energy. And this is different for all of us, but for you, Scorpio, it's your second house of value. It's talking about all the resources you have. So you really want to get creative, and you want to expand the resources that you have personally to yourself. Because when you do that, you expand the resources that you have to share with other people. You're going through second and eighth house energies. So there's something there, and it's interesting. Taurus, I had a similar message for.
They're going through second and eighth house energy as well. And you're no stranger to this, you know. You understand that the second house, it's not you. You're more so about the eighth house, you know. So intimately sharing the resources that you have with others. But it's important that you nurture that second house, especially when on the 18th, when we have all those energies. You may be thinking and attracting a lot in your second house. You may be, you know, there's a lot of karma there as well right now. So, you know, the next thing I want to talk to you, and then we'll talk about Saturn, and then we're going to get going with your reading, because everything else is talked about in my intro video, you guys. I don't want these videos to get too long when they're already pretty long reading. So we do have Mars. Mars is your ruling planet. You are ruled by Mars, and you're also ruled by Pluto, Scorpio. So you're ruled by the god of war and the god of death. So that's why, you know, Scorpio, you ever wondered why you're more, you know, and I don't say this isn't in a bad way, but you guys are intimidating. You guys carry a more, it's not an aggressive energy, but it can seem that way because you're ruled by Mars. And it can definitely seem that way throughout the month. You know, we've had Mars in your sign for about a week now, or a few days now, since the 9th. So yeah, it's been about a week. It's been a week since Mars has entered your sign. Mars is all about aggression. And you know, you're ruled by Pluto, but you're all like, because Mars is Aries ruling planet, but you and Aries are kind of brothers and sisters in zodiac, in the astrology, because you're ruled by the same planet, just like me and Sagittarius. Me and Sagittarius are ruled by Jupiter. So Scorpio, you know, Mars, you remember Mars. You know a little bit about Mars. You don't know quite as much as Aries, you know, because you are a water sign. So Mars is a little bit different in Scorpio than it is in Aries. But nonetheless, it is definitely a more aggressive energy. You know, it's more, it is the god of war, but it's not only negative. It's also the planet of action. It's also the planet of desire. It's the planet of attraction. So, you know, having Mars in your sign, it can make you pretty attractive. You want to be careful about attracting aggressive people, though, okay? So, you know, that's just, I don't think you're brand new, Scorpio. I know that you probably feel the energy of your ruling planet being back in your sign. I hope you guys are utilizing that energy well. For some of you, there could be arguments. You know, Mars does come in and aggressively, you know, work people up. It does like to start war. It's a very fiery planet, but you're a water sign. So you can transform this aggression, okay? You're all about transformation and rebirth, Scorpio. So you have the power to use that water in you, okay? You're a fixed water sign, so you can stabilize these aggressive emotions. You can stabilize, you know, this warlike behavior. And I do hope, you know, go ahead and comment. Let me know how you guys have been dealing with Mars in your sign. I'm very interested to know how Scorpios are handling that energy. But that is something to keep in mind, you know, that Mars has been in your sign for about a week. And it will eventually move into Sagittarius. That means it'll be in your second house, guys. That could cause aggression with finances. You know, you want to pay attention to where Mars is on the zodiac wheel, because it can cause aggression in those areas. And if you're not woke, if you're not enlightened, it'll just pimp you. Mars will just make you an aggressive puppet. And you don't want that, Scorpio. You know, you guys practice control a lot as Scorpios. So you want to control that aggression and control those. You know, as water signs, we do have a lot of emotion. Scorpio, you protect your emotional state. You don't like to just open your heart to anybody. You don't like to make yourself vulnerable to just anybody. So, you know, that can cause some inner aggression sometimes when you know, when you don't express what it is that you feel. Sometimes Scorpio can get aggressive anyways. You know, you guys are ruled by Mars too. So it's like you guys kill things very fast. You guys kill things very, very quickly. And that's beautiful when it comes to transformation. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're expressing your emotions. You know, we're coming up on the end of a year. Everybody's changing right now, Scorpio. Everybody's transforming. So please don't do that to yourself. Make sure you're communicating what it is that you feel. You of all people should communicate what you emotionally feel towards the transformations that you're going through. If you don't, I would imagine that would cause a lot of emotional constipation. It would make you feel very alone emotionally. So if you're dealing with those kind of energies, just transform Mars. Transform, you know, the way that Mars is kind of vibing with you. You can always do that. So let's talk just a little bit about Saturn and Capricorn. Okay, this is just something I want you guys to prepare for because it stays there for about 3 to 4 years. I'm going to do videos about this in January, so I'm not going to take too much time on it. But Saturn is the Lord of Karma, you guys. There is a karmic boat arriving this month in only a few days. Like, wow. Like in 3 days, Saturn moves into Cap. This is a shift that everybody's going to feel, because this is when the chapter ends. You know, this is when the series is over and we start a new season of a series on TV. So a lot of our lives are going to shift karmically, you know. Karma has been in your second house. So anything you've experienced for the last 4 years when it comes to finances or money or resources, it's been karmically on your path. So that's going to change into your third house. So after the 19th, whereas karma was working for your resources and your finances, it's going to start working for your communication. You know, Capricorn is your third house of communication. And we're going to talk all about that next month, about communication and about belief. Okay, that's coming up for you, Scorpio, and it's going to be karmically bound. So don't be afraid of Saturn. You know, I have a Capricorn rising. I know a lot about Saturn. Saturn is that military dad. He comes in and he's like, hey, why isn't this clean? Look at this dust I can see. Why isn't the bed made? Why did you do that 3 years ago? You know, Saturn's going to, and he is ruled by Capricorn. So this is the Lord of Karma, you guys. You know, karma will be served like never before after the 19th. So just make sure that you're on the right end of that spectrum, okay? And I trust that you guys are. And if not, you can just use Jupiter. You know, you guys kind of have a get out of jail free card with Jupiter there. So just remember, you know, you do have Jupiter in your sign, Scorpio. Now, I'd love for you guys to keep looking at me, but these are very important readings, so I have to move the camera down just a little bit, and I'm going to be moving it over so that you guys can see your reading, okay? I hope you can see it okay. I think you can. I might move it just a little bit more. So, as I mentioned in my intro video, I am going to be getting 9 cards from the Angel deck. I hope there's nothing I missed with you guys. I'm pretty sure that's all that's happening for Scorpio. And that is a lot that's going on, right? So, well, there's always more to talk about in your reading. Perhaps that's what I'm feeling, is that there's more to talk about. So, universe, we are now talking to the Scorpios. And what is it that we can best talk about this month? Let's get the first 3 cards for the first week of December. Let's get the second row for about the middle, and let's get the last row so we can talk about what Scorpio has to look forward to in the future. So let's get these energies, and let's please tap into relatable messages, please, so that the Scorpios who watch my video get relatable messages. And mental clarity. Mental clarity is something that we all need right now, universe. So I am asking the angels for clear messages this month. This is for Scorpio, December 2017. Messages for Scorpio, December 2017, please. Asking the angels for guidance for the sign of Scorpio. Okay, we have manifest. This came out for Libra as well. So I'm seeing that the second half of the zodiac wheel is really working with manifestations around this time. And I wouldn't expect anything less from us, because we're the half of the wheel that's pretty spiritual, okay? You know, the first half is all about lifestyle. It's all about self-work. And then you get into Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and it's all about spirituality. It's all about expansion and the ethers. You know, we just kind of understand the depth that takes place in our world. I did have authority just pop out for you guys a little bit, but we have show appreciation. So show appreciation is coming up in your reading. And you may need to show appreciation before you manifest, Scorpio, or you may need to manifest appreciation. We have nature. This is the Tarot Tuesday card that came out a few days ago. I pull a card every Tuesday on my Instagram that will best explain the energies for the week. So every Tuesday to Tuesday, I pull a tarot card, and I've been using this deck for that. You are special. That came out for Libra as well. Beautiful, Scorpio. I'm seeing so many messages for you already. Think about it. Oh wow, this is the middle of your reading right here. This is a very important card. So there's immediately Spirit is telling me that you have a lot to think about this month. So you want to think about it. Think about it. And we'll start explaining these energies. We got to get the rest of your cards out first. But already it's a very powerful reading. So let's see, what else can we talk to Scorpio about this month, Spirit? Let's see, this card wanted to hide. Oh, pray. Why would that want to hide? Scorpio, this is pretty emotional. I'm going to try not to cry. I cried in the Libra video, dude. How whack. Just kidding. I ain't about to downplay my emotions. I'm an emotional person. And I accept that about myself. All of us water signs are really, we represent the emotion. Did you know that, Scorpio? We represent the emotion in the universe. You are a fixed sign, so you represent stable emotions. Scorpios are very, I'm not sure if you feel this way, but astrologically and zodiac-wise, you guys are very stable, emotional people. You're not as crazy as Pisces. I'm a Pisces. You know, you're not as headstrong as Cancer. Cancer is like too much emotion. Pisces is like emotions change too much. And then, you know, Scorpio's like perfect. All right. Pardon me, guys. I have to go shut off my alarm in the other room. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. It's 6 o'clock. I always have a 6 o'clock alarm go off so that I can post into my Hello Humans. You are understood. I'm feeling a little bit interesting. I think, just to be sure, Scorpio, I'm going to get a different card for you, okay? It's always mysterious with your energy, but I always have to dig really deep into my intuition to know what to do. But when I sat down, this card like immediately flipped over. And you had acceptance, but you also had share your wisdom underneath the deck. And I kept starting to shuffle, so I'm not sure if acceptance or share your wisdom is the bottom of your deck. And I'm not sure if you are understood. But I do want to take this into consideration that around the end of the month, some of you could be feeling more understood about a situation. And you could have an underlying energy of sharing your wisdom, but there may be something that you need to accept. But just to I'm being led by the universe to reshuffle that. And we're going to focus. So Spirit, I'm not really sure if that card was for Scorpio, so I am going to reshuffle. And I know you, Spirit, that if that card is meant for them, it'll come out again. So please, let's focus really intently, angels. And I need to get a last card for Scorpio. This card's very important, Spirit. It symbolizes how the month is going to end for Scorpio. And then the end of the bottom of the deck is really important also. So I just want to kind of use my energy to reshuffle to get a clear message for Scorpio, please. I'm sorry for not focusing, you guys. I don't know there. I had to go shut my alarm off. And okay, interesting. We have send love at the end of your reading. And at the bottom of the deck, we have you are understood. So you see how that just worked there? You see, that's just so funny. So thank you, Spirit, for validating that. We did have authority show its face too. So you are understood. Now, I'm going to get 9 more cards just so we can place some energy on top of the cards that we already have and get a little bit more insight as to what it might mean for you, okay, Scorpio? So angels, universe, God, creator. This is for Scorpio energy. I'm on the Scorpio reading now, and I'm going to ask for a little bit more clarity. So the first card out, we have Empress. So you want to manifest. Some of you are manifesting love, and it's not necessarily love as in a relationship, but the Empress is about love in the universe. This is Venus, okay? Venus is in Sagittarius right now, and it's going to be moving into Capricorn on the 25th. So let's see here. Ooh. That's a lot of cards. It's like there's something changing. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit, and the Six of Swords. So some of you could be changing. Some of you, well, I know you're always changing, Scorpio, but right here is the message. This is what I see here. So I do see some inner reflection going on. I do see the choice after inner reflecting this month. You are going to make the decision to leave certain things. It's not going to be easy leaving these things because this card talks about leaving things. You want to get to a safer spot, Scorpio. You don't want to be somewhere anymore where the waters are so choppy like down here by my thumb. You want to look in the distance where things are more grounded and steady. And you may make the decision to do that after seeking solitude. You know, when we're by ourselves, we think better. So Spirit, I'm going to put these cards in the reading as they fall. So I trust that any cards that fall out are going to be meant for Scorpio's reading. So anything that falls out, I'm going to play it. So I would really like if the cards would come out one at a time, please. But if you can't, if the energies just come out together, then I'm just going to lay them as they fall. So please hear that, universe. So that way I know that what comes out is for the Scorpio reading. So what I'm doing now is the show appreciation. That's the card that I'm validating now. And then there's nature. Ooh, we have the Two of Swords flip over. So there may be some type of decision that some of you need to make. You're at a crossroads, but you need to show appreciation. Because when we show appreciation, especially when we're at a crossroads, we kind of get in touch with ourselves. And we make the right decision when we appreciate everything that we have. So let's see here. What's Scorpio showing appreciation towards? Okay, we had the Ten of Wands, and you know, guys, I'm going to lay this sideways. Pretty interesting reading here. I don't usually do that. I don't work with reverses, but it fell in my lap, and it did fall below, like, so when I'm just going to put this sideways for now, just so that I know when we get to that part of the reading that I need to interpret it upright, and I also need to interpret it reversed. And I don't do that for usually, but for you, Scorpio, anything. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords coming out. Don't worry, Libra's dealing with mental anxiety as well. Don't fucking worry, so am I. Like we all are. It's a Mercury retrograde. And this is symbolic for the third. Okay, the energy's fluid. So you could experience any of these messages anytime in the month. But I am kind of reading this as this is the first week of December. This is the middle of the month, and this is how the month is going to end. Okay, so there is a little bit of that going on. And this is more so, this is December 3rd. This is the third card in the first row. So in a way, this is the third of the first week, or the ending of the first week of December. But Spirit is telling me that this is Mercury retrograde related, and we'll get to that in a minute, Scorpio. There's some mental anxiety there. That's what Mercury does. When Mercury goes back retrograde, we start thinking about people and places and things that we haven't thought about in years, and they all of a sudden come back up, you know, and we get mental anxiety because things that didn't matter before all of a sudden matter again, and we're like, oh my God, I don't know the answer. Like, I don't know what I feel. I don't know what to think. So in the beginning of the month, you could have been feeling a little bit like that. I see that you feel pretty burdened as well. You feel pretty heavy. So we have the we have the Ten of Wands, which is a completion, and we also have the Nine of Swords, and I want that to be the Ten of Swords. I want you guys to be completing pain in your life, but you know, there's a time for everything, and you'll complete that pain when you learn the lessons there, okay? So you are special. You are special, Scorpio. We're going to get a card for that. I can't wait to explain that card to you because there is an important illustration on that card that I believe is very Scorpio, and I'm glad it came out for you guys. So what's special about Scorpio? I know what's special about Scorpio, but let's get a little bit more information about it. What's special about Scorpio in December? I don't know that. So let's see what the universe has to say. The universe and the angels are definitely letting you know that you're special. So we have these cards pop out. And it's the Five of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. So you're special because you work on yourself a lot. This Eight of Pentacles here, this is about self-work. You see how he's creating those pentacles? And you do have, well, I did tell the universe. I told the universe that I would lay the cards. So, you know, I have to remind myself of that. So we'll explain that here in a minute. Let's get the rest of your cards. So we have Pray coming up. I love that this came up. This card has not come up this month yet for any other sign. I still have about 4 readings to do. Ooh, we had the King of Swords almost come out, but it flipped back over. So some of you really do need to make sure you're praying this month. Okay, we had the Ace of Wands. So that's even better to come out with prayer because this is passionate communication with Creator. Beautiful, beautiful, Scorpio. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we need 3 more cards, Spirit. Preferably one at a time, please, so I just know that they're, you know, right. And I mean that lightly because there is no right or wrong. It's just, I guess I just want them to be relatable. So self-care. This is something Libra have too. There's a lot of similar cards here. There's only 44 cards in the angel deck, so, you know. And then there's 78 of the cards that I'm using now. So there's a little bit more energy to work with here. So let's pull a card that could best be placed with self-care for Scorpio. The Eight of Swords. All right. What about allow love? What can we say about allow love for Scorpio? I did read, this card came up for the Virgo reading. Allow love did. It came right in the middle though. And it talks about opening your heart and allowing, you know, it talks a lot about authority. So I'm going to make sure that I relate that to Saturn, okay? So remind me energetically. I don't think I'm going to forget. And we do have this card that flew out. So I guess that's for you, Scorpio, the Six of Pentacles. And I kind of understand that message already. But don't worry. It's balance. You have to allow that kind of love. And oh, wow, yeah. I'm getting a lot of different messages there, but we'll just take this as it goes. I like Scorpio readings so much. Like, I literally love, like, I'm not gonna lie, because I know you guys know all about secrets and stuff, so I don't hide anything from you. Before this reading, before all your readings, I literally had to mentally and emotionally prepare myself, because I learned so much from the Scorpio readings. Like, it might be because I have a midheaven in Scorpio. It might be because I have a north node in Scorpio. And I'm not sure if you guys know what that means, but I'm literally here to learn Scorpio energy. Now, we have a message coming out here. It's rather long, so I don't think it's for the end of your... I'm literally looking for one more card. But first, Spirit had a message for you. So we have the Ten of Cups here. And the Ten of Cups is about a happy home life. It's also about emotional completions. It's about emotional contentment. We have this beautiful rainbow up above. We have this family. We have this children playing. We have a river. We have a house in the background. So this is about having. This is what somebody would feel if they received a call, one of those calls that are like, "Hi, your great uncle passed away, and he left you a ranch in Colorado." You know what I mean? And you just move here and it's perfect. Like, it has so much land and there's a river and there's a home and you move your family here. So I don't know if that's going to happen. That was just kind of my example. But there's something like that, okay? There's something there with this message. And it's coming out with the Queen of Wands. So this might be what you're passionately aiming for this month, Scorpio. Or this could have been in 2017. You took a lot of passion. You took a lot of time. And you put a lot of effort and time into passionately creating this happy home environment, right? Whether it be for yourself, whether it be for your family, you know, I don't know. But I think it's kind of cut in the middle. I think some of you wanted this alone, and it's interesting to want this feeling alone. Usually when this happens, we want someone to share it with. There's a reason why there's more than one person illustrated in this card. But the Queen of Wands is alone, so if you guys aren't wanting this alone, then you definitely created it on your own. And if you didn't, you feel that you did. You feel that you put a lot of passion into something that, you know, may not have necessarily been helped by other people. But I don't see you ending up alone. I just see that the Queen of Wands is attached to this energy. So there's a lot of passion here. And it's like you're embodying the Queen of Wands energy in order to accomplish this kind of emotionally secure and content feeling. Like, this is complete emotional contentment. You know, the Ten of Cups, it's like as great as the Ace of Cups. You know, this is such a happy energy. And I see it being paired with passion. Now, it's interesting because you have the Ten of Cups and you also have the Nine of Cups. Okay, so this is about emotional contentment as well. But, you know, it's interesting that I thought some of you might be wanting it alone, you know, because I do see here that these are quite different, you know, and the Nine of Cups comes up after the Ten of Cups in your reading. So it's pretty interesting that we had it in that order, because it literally goes Ten of Cups, Queen of Wands, Nine of Cups, High Priestess, Ace of Cups. Now, it's interesting. I didn't know that the Ace of Cups was there. So you guys have a lot of emotion right now. So let's put these back down. We already talked about the Ten of Cups in the Nine of Cups, but I'm going to show you that again because they're pretty different energies, but they're so good. I don't know which one of these are better. You could have given somebody a cup. You could have, I'm just seeing a lot of cups here. So no wonder you have the Ten of Cups, because there's just so much emotional happiness here. But, you know, some of you are wanting it with a family, and some of you are actually wanting it alone. You know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to experience the Ten of Cups on your own. It's actually quite admirable, honestly. So here we have a man in the middle. His arms are crossed because he's so happy, and he's kind of smug. You know, Scorpio, you can be a little bit smug like this guy, especially when you accomplish something. It's quite awesome. You know, you guys need to calm that stinger down sometimes, but sometimes you need to sting a bitch. So good luck figuring out which one of those you need to do this month. We'll talk through it, okay? Up here, I see you stinging a few people, especially with Mars in your sign. Oh no, when Mars is in Scorpio, I make sure to look out for Scorpio stinger because, you know, it's lethal. But anyway, let's get it keep it back to the tarot reading. I see you here with your arms crossed, and surrounding you is all these emotions, right? All these cups. And what you fill these cups with is up to you, Scorpio, but it's emotional contentment. This is a wish card. This is a good luck, and this is a wish granted card. So if there's some sort of wish that you were focusing on in December, especially, I don't know, there's not a time limit for this. This is an extra message for you because the cards came out. Well, if there's some sort of wish, just know that you're receiving it. And I'm not sure when it'll come true, but when it does, you're going to be rather content. You're going to have everything that you need. You know, these cups symbolize anything that you need, anything that you want, anything that you desire, Scorpio. And they're surrounding you. You've put them up on a shelf, and you're very happy about them. This is like, I kind of see, what are those things called? A china cabinet? I think they're china cabinets. They're glass, and every old person has it in their house. They're usually filled with like plates or some sort of antiques, but they're glass and you can see through them. So this is the equivalent of a china cabinet, except for in that china cabinet, you're going to have all these gold cups, and they mean the world to you. So it's up to you to decide that. I'm not going to try to dive into your energy that much because I know you guys don't like to be that exposed. I like to leave you with something. It's fun. I love talking with Scorpios. It's fun. You guys are the only people that I appreciate having secrets with. I don't typically like secrets any other time. I'm pretty forward. I like keeping things real, everything, because I'm an empath. You know, I can feel when someone's lying to me. I can feel when something's not on the up and up. But with Scorpio, I literally don't take offense to that energy because you guys are the 8th house and you work with those kind of secret, intimate, the unknown, you know what I mean? You're also a water sign, so I know that there's more to you than meets the eye. And the cups in tarot do symbolize water energy. So this is really feeling like you have an abundance of emotion. Now, whether that's a good thing for Scorpio or a bad thing, you know, it's up to the Scorpio. Some Scorpios don't like having all this emotion in their reading, but there's definitely a lot of hidden emotion. You know, and it's coming out in a rather straightforward way. Like, it's kind of hard to hide your emotion when you're the 10 of Cups and when you're the 9 of Cups because you're just so overjoyed with what's going on. So it's interesting that you have the 9 of Cups, and Spirit is showing me that you have the 9 of Swords. So when we talk about the 9 of Swords here in a few minutes, I do want to remind you that you have the 9 of Cups to back you up. Even though it's not in your actual reading, it's kind of an external message. So the 9 of Swords is actually really, like, these are two very different energies, wouldn't you say? I would say that the 9 of Swords is someone who really could benefit from this kind of energy. So we do have a wish coming true there, and that could be different. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys are all wishing for different things as Scorpios. And then we have the High Priestess and the Ace of Cups. So the High Priestess is one of my very favorite cards. This is my favorite card, no doubt about it. She's my favorite card. In Scorpio, it's really interesting. I look down at my deck and we see the 10 of Swords. And you remember how earlier I was talking about the 9 of Swords and how I wish that there was the 10 of Swords. So it's kind of like I'm psychic and I kind of just felt this coming up. But we'll talk about that here in just a second. Let's talk about the High Priestess and the Ace of Cups first. So the High Priestess is a very Scorpio energy. I mean, anybody can tap into their own High Priestess energy, but the High Priestess is the angel of the universe. You know, she knows beyond the veil. And Scorpio, you know, you guys are the veil. So when there's certain things, you know, you guys rule death and rebirth, and death and birth are two of the most main things in this realm that we don't really know how to explain. You know, we don't really know why people are born. We try to explain it scientifically, but we can't do it complete justice, you know. We have to just kind of allow room for creative understanding at that point. But that's exactly what Scorpio energy is, you know. You guys are the necessary darkness in our universe, because you see how there's one dark pillar and then there's one light pillar? It's because there's supposed to be light and dark in our universe. And I think certain enlightened and intellectual Scorpios understand this. So the High Priestess is in the middle of these two pillars because she understands the universe in a way that no one else does. She's really, really, really spiritual. She's really, really intellectual. You know, she sees beyond the veil. And the veil is something that's over, you know, the veil is exactly why we don't know what happens after we die. You know, because if that veil was lifted, you know, not everybody can handle knowing. You know, that's why we only can use 10% of our brain at a time. You know, the human mind is not completely unlocked by all of us yet. And it's because very dangerous things can happen. So there's some messages here for you, Scorpio. The High Priestess is showing herself to you because you are the Queen of Secrets. The High Priestess is about secrets as well. Sometimes when this card comes up, it's interesting because people interpret it as like, oh, somebody lying to you. And I'm like, really? That's how you interpret the High Priestess? She knows spiritual secrets. You know, there is no such thing as a lie for the High Priestess, you know, because if someone were to lie to her, she would just understand the hidden truth that is in that lie. And maybe that's how you are, Scorpio. I'm not saying that we like to be lied to, but you can't lie to the High Priestess because she'll just tell you the truth. You know, you could say something to her that wasn't true and she would reflect the truth back to you because she's that intelligent. So I'm seeing this as your energy, Scorpio. You are in between light and dark right now. And it's almost as if you get some type of spiritual renewal or something because it's coming out with the Ace of Cups. So to have the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups like that, that's a lot of cups. That's the most beautiful cup cards. Ace of Cups, Ten of Cups, I'm done. You know, and then to throw the Nine of Cups in there as well. You really want to drink from these cups, Scorpio. You need to know that these came out for your reading. Okay, so there's this could be some type of spiritual new love that enters your life. Okay, this could be you, you know, and this Ace of Cups could be flowing for you as well. So just real quick here, I do want to talk about, oh wow, I don't know why I just moved that Ten of Swords, but look who's under it. Look who was under the Ten of Swords. You, Scorpio. So this is definitely speaking to transformation and the new beginnings that happen when we conquer pain in our life, right? And there's definitely new love on the way because I see the Knight of Cups underneath all that. So there's a hidden love, you know, and that's interesting. This is hidden love, the High Priestess, you know. The High Priestess, if she's in love, she skips that honeymoon stage. It's like you just wake up one day and you're married to the High Priestess. Like there's no logical way to explain the way the High Priestess does things. She just does them. So this is talking about the light and the dark as well when it comes to new love. So you want to honor the light and the dark that is in any partnerships. But okay, let's get back to this message here so that we can get to your reading. So I do see, let's hang on here to this new beginning because first we have to talk about this Ten of Swords. So when I was talking about the Nine of Swords, you know, I was talking about, I said I really wish that this was the Ten of Swords so that you could be completing pain. And then look what shows itself. You have an underlying energy. So these energies that I just spoke about, these cups and the Queen of Wands and everything like that, what was at the bottom of the deck for that message was the Ten of Swords. And you do have the Ten of Cups, and you do have the Ten of Swords, and you do have the Ten of Wands. So the only thing you're missing in this reading is the Ten of Pentacles. So I'm seeing that you're completing life in every area except for that second house of yours, except for that second house of values. It's because you're still balancing that out. So you're completing every area of your life, Scorpio, except for the areas of life that you're still working on. And that makes so much sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to you. You're still going through second house transformations, right? So you're not exactly completing that yet. Now, come next month, the Ten of Pentacles may come out for you because maybe you would have accomplished certain things there. I do see here that you're working, you know, you're working on that second house value. And you're also working on balancing that. So there's not the Ten of Pentacles here. You know, tarot is very real. So you're going through completions in a lot of different areas in your life, and we're going to talk about that, but not quite the Ten of Pentacles yet. So that may become a goal for you guys, right? So we do have the Ten of Swords here. We have the Nine of Swords here. We have the Eight of Swords. Okay, and I like seeing that at the beginning of your reading, we have the Nine of Swords. At the end of your reading, we have the Eight of Swords. So that shows me that the swords are kind of lessening. You know, you made the decision to kind of go from the Nine of Swords to the Eight of Swords. So that's kind of like a numerology. You know what I mean? You kind of lessened the anxiety that you were feeling. But those are two different energies that we'll explain. I do see pain. There's, you know, Scorpio, you've been through a lot this year. I know you're a water sign and you know, you try to be stable. But we all go through certain completions and new beginnings. And the Ten of Swords is pretty intense, right? We see a guy here and he's like completely stabbed in the back 10 times. Like, and this reminds me of you, Scorpio, because you try to act like everything's okay, even though you have these 10 swords in your back. But it's kind of hard to be okay when you literally are like almost dead. But you are the house of, you know, transformation. So you, of all people, could take these swords and transform them. You can take them out of your back, but just make sure you're not going to place them around you and create a prison for yourself. Make sure you're not going to overthink, okay? Because swords represent communication. So there could be some type of painful communication coming to an end. And that's interesting because next month we'll be going through transitions with the third house for you, right? We have this Capricorn energy coming up for you, and that's your third house. So I do see certain pain here. I do see you rising above this, and I do see you transforming the pain in your life because we have your card that came out with the Ten of Swords. So it's interesting that this guy looks dead, you know, and we have the Death card coming out with it because he's pretty much dead. Like I don't think anyone human could survive that. But I'm not talking to a human, am I? You guys are demigods. You know, you control demons. And you control the transformation that takes place. So if there's anybody who could rise above, if there's anybody who can live through this energy, it would be a motherfucking Scorpio. So I see here that there's certain things that are dead. I don't even know if this is you on the ground. For some of you, this is another person. For some of you, this is a situation that ended in 2017, and it was very painful. You know, it didn't end easily. There's nothing easy about the Ten of Swords, but it's transformation. You know, it's an ending that you walk away from as a different person, you know. So there is a completion taking place with your pain and with the pain of others, and I'm glad to see this. I'm glad that the Ten of Swords made its way into your reading because I see a lot of Nine of Swords and Eight of Swords, and you know what that tells me is that there's more pain. There's still more pain. But just remember as we go through your reading that you're going to transform because of this pain. This whole year has made you who you are. Feeling like this, making others feel like this, letting certain situations die in your life, letting certain darkness take its course, you know, it really does transform you, and you are going to be reborn into a person who's way stronger, way more protected, you know. You're still going to be pure. You are the purest sign, Scorpio. You guys are the purest sign of the zodiac, right? So you can, in order to become pure, you have to purge out all of the darkness in your life, and that's what exactly I see happening in this Death card. So whatever it is that you need to let die, let it die, Scorpio. Let the caterpillar go, let the butterfly fly, you know. This is a completion. This is the transformation occurring. Whatever's dead is dead, especially after the 19th. So it's interesting. And after you do that, after you let certain things, it's like a snake shedding its skin. Look what we have. We had the Fool card right underneath that. We had Ten of Swords, and we had Death underneath the Ten of Swords, and underneath Death, we had a new beginning. So I'm glad that I am who I am, Scorpio, because I'm very psychic and I'm very intuitive. And when something tells me to look at the deck, I listen. And then I receive these beautiful messages for you. So I see a certain leap of faith that you're going to make specifically. And it's gonna happen after this pain, right? We have this pain here ending, and then we have your energy transforming, and then we have a new beginning of faith. And that couldn't have taken place without these things. So this is divine. This is very, very powerful. And it could be a new beginning in love. We have two rather really beautiful cards coming out that symbolize new love. Okay, this is a lot of emotion here, and for some of you, a water sign. So that was pretty powerful, Scorpio, you know? So whatever spirit tells me, and we have the Page of Wands, well, I was looking for, you know, I guess we'll just do that. And then at the end, yeah, all that makes sense. At the end of your reading, this is your underlying energy. So for some of you, you really do have, because we already covered these energies. It's so cool how that just worked out. This is the underlying energy. So I'm going to actually put those cards right there. And then I'm seeing the Two of Cups with the Virgo card. And wow, 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 wow. We have the Sun and the Moon in your card as well. Wow. And then we have, whoa, we have the Wheel in the World. Whew, and it does stop there. That's how powerful your messages are. So wow, what? Major completions, major new beginnings. This is karma shifting. This is Capricorn moving into Saturn moving into Cap. What? No. That is so profound. Like what? The Sun and the Moon? This doesn't just happen. You can't I can't make this shit up. Like what? What all I was trying to say is that some of you might be getting with a Virgo, or some of you might be, you know, getting in strong emotional contact with yourself, because this is the Two of Cups with the Hermit card. So you have to go inwards in order to, oh my gosh. Okay, there's a lot to explain here. So I'm just going to go ahead and interpret this as I can. It's interesting. We're already an hour into your reading, and I haven't even explained your actual reading yet. This is what happens when you just flow with spirit. You know, there's always a meaning for these things. So let's go ahead and interpret your reading, Scorpio. And I apologize to any of those who experience jealousy because Scorpio's reading might get a little bit longer. Libra's reading was about 1 hour and 50 minutes. So yeah, we have about an hour to talk again. About another hour to talk, I guess. So we have time. All right. So, starting the month off, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to that energy, but I'm going to have to let that sit for a little bit. We have manifest. Scorpio, manifesting is such an important thing for each and every one of us to learn how to do. We have this as your very first card that popped out. So, it could be that in December, more specifically the first week of December, but remember, this can be any time. Energy is fluid. Time is man-made, okay? So this stretches beyond time. And manifesting is something we can do whenever we want, okay? So this is believing enough in ourselves to create something out of nothing. And this could be exactly what you were doing in the beginning of December. There's a need here to manifest. Some of you are manifesting love because it came out with the Empress card. And the Empress card so beautifully illustrates Venus there on that heart. And, you know, this is a Taurus energy. So some of you could be with a Taurus, which is interesting because Taurus is your opposite sign. Others of you could be experiencing someone who seems quite different from you, because anytime Spirit shows me a different, like if I got the Pisces card and the Virgo card, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's Pisces and Virgo. It means that there's an opposition going on. Kind of like in your card, how I got the Sun and the Moon card together. So there's definite oppositions going on here. And you really want to manifest love. And this could be manifesting love for your own self, manifesting love in your life, not just a relationship, but just more loving energies. Because I do see that there's some harshness here that we have to deal with as a Scorpio, you know. So you might want to just manifest a lighter energy. You know, the Empress, she embodies a more nurturing, a more loving energy. So Scorpio, you guys are very intuitive, you're very watery. And not only that, but you're very stabilized water. So I think that makes you guys very sensitive to certain energies, especially because you can look at a situation and see how dark it gets. You can look at a situation and see how light it's going to get. You know, take one look at a situation and you're like, well, here's here's the worst of the worst and here's the best of the best. That's a beautiful quality that some of you possess, okay? So some of you may be walking into December. You might have came, you know, right after November. Right after some of your guys' solar returns, right as Sagittarius season, you're like, this is some dark shit. And I really need to manifest more loving energies in my life. I need to manifest Venus. You know, I need to manifest attraction. And this can go a lot of different ways for you guys. But I do see here the manifestation of a more loving energy. You know, this is about the five senses. This is about nurturing. For some of you, you're manifesting a pregnancy. Some of you really want to get pregnant, you know. Some of you are manifesting something to do with a pregnancy, maybe a healthy birth. I'm not sure. That's only for some of you. And I'm going to move on here to the rest of your reading, and just know that I'm going to come back to that maybe. If spirit shows me that again, you know, when I get to this card, they all kind of go in together, right? So now we can talk about this kind of sideways ten of swords, but first we're going to talk about show appreciation. Now, for me, when I channel this card, to me, what comes up is showing appreciation, because let's take a look at this card here. We see this kind of tiger walking alongside a very, very soft creature. She's an angel. And it's like she should be afraid of that card, right? I mean, she should be afraid of that tiger. But this, what comes to mind is, in this card, is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But here we have a rather fierce and vicious character, symbolized by the tiger, calmly drinking, and he's not mawing. He could tear that angel apart, and that angel could tear him apart too, because angels are very powerful. But this is just what this card says to me. You know, it comes up when there's a usually aggressive creature who's just calm. Because tigers, I'm not saying that they're aggressive, they're actually quite beautiful, but they have the potential to be really, really, really vicious. And I do believe this is speaking to you, Scorpio. This is the part of you that has the ability to sting relentlessly. You know, and maybe there's something here with calming a beast, because this is like Beauty and the Beast type thing. We have this calm, beautiful angel, and so this could be, you know, you guys could have been, this might be Mars. Mars is in your guys' sign. It wasn't in your sign yet, but like I said, Mars gets into your sign around here. This is around the time when Mars gets into your sign. This might be you feeling Mars before it gets there. I don't know why I was led to say that, because Mars is more aggressive, you know. But here we have you know, I do see you here. Some of you are the tiger, some of you are the angel. So you wanna figure out who you are in this tarot card. Are you the angel that's calming the beast, or are you the beast that was calmed by an angel in December? But the point is, you're being shown here drinking from this pond, so you're replenishing yourself. You're also allowing that beast in you to feel a little bit of emotion, because water symbolizes emotion. So there might have been an angel of emotion that visited you in December, that calmed you in a way, that helped you in a way that you were able to find emotional stability. You know, this is the part of you that really doesn't express their emotion a lot. You know, you'd rather just, it's like kind of being like all bark and no bite. Well, Scorpio is just as much bark as they are bite. And sometimes that beast in you, you know, and it's interesting. I know Leo is the lion and everything like that, but I really do see, you know, I know many Scorpios, and a lot of them remind me of a tiger. It's because you look so scary, you know, you look so, it's like, and I want you to relate this to yourself. When I look at a tiger, you know, I know not to fuck with them. I know that they could potentially tear me apart. But at the same time, it's that energy right there that makes me want to approach the tiger. And like when I'm at the zoo, I love looking at the tigers. They're especially the white tigers, but even the orange striped tigers too. Like, I love tigers. They're kind of personal to me. And I think a lot of people are attracted to this kind of tiger energy, because they're so intimidating yet playful. You know, they're like overgrown cats, and it's scary and exciting at the same time. And you know, Scorpio, that's a lot like how you are, but certain people in your life are going to know not to be afraid of you. You know, and then we have this tail here. That could be your stinger back there. I do see that as kind of a stinger in this reading. So we have certain beautiful, calm, pure people that sometimes are able to see beyond how fierce we are. They're not afraid, because all we want to do is we're just thirsty. You know, you just want to drink from that pond. You just want to get back in touch with your emotions. Well, we have somebody here assisting you in that journey. It could very well be a divine creature, an angel, somebody who's pure. You know, and like I said, that can be you. Some of you have this beast in your life who you're not afraid of. Some of you are this beast and needed that angel or that beautiful person. It could be a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a mother figure, something like that. But nonetheless, this is a show appreciation card. So it's like the tiger is appreciative of the angel, and the angel is appreciative of the tiger. This is a calm energy where there could be aggression. And it's interesting that this is coming up. This could be Mars related, guys. So show appreciation. Even tigers need appreciation, right? Even tigers need understanding energy. So it's like a lot of people see you as these like vicious tigers, Scorpio, like that you could maul them apart. But I know a lot of you don't like that. A lot of you wonder why you're so intimidating. You know, well, it's because you guys are, some of your spirit animals are tigers. Nonetheless, though, this is about appreciation, and I'm going to interpret this upright and reverse, because some of you are dealing with this end of the spectrum, some of you are dealing with this end of the spectrum. Now, the fact that show appreciation is coming out with this completion, you know, every 10 is a completion, and you know that you have the 10 of Wands in your reading, you also have the 10 of Swords, okay, and you have the 10 of Cups. So you're going through a lot of completions right now, and you're going through a lot of transformations. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Scorpio. So I believe this is coming up because there were certain things that came to completion this month. Whether it be the first or the second week or the third, whatever, beginning, middle, of end of the month, there are burdens that you're dealing with. I'm hearing a few different messages here. Some of you need to show appreciation to the universe or to someone who helped you out, because right here you're doing all the work alone. This is a burden. This is overworking. This is I'm not saying that passion can ever be, there could never be too much passion, but this is a fire energy, so this could be aggression. This could be pent up aggression that you're dealing with. This man is, you know, he's carrying way too much on his shoulders. So some of you could be feeling like way too much is put on me right now, and this is all year long, and this is this energy kind of coming to a completion finally, and you really want to show appreciation if you're a Scorpio and recently there's been something lifted off your shoulder. Maybe that's why it came up upside down. For some of you, you need to show appreciation for these burdens. Some of these burdens were to teach you hard work or teach you a hard lesson. You know, so I do see here the main message is be appreciative for the weight that's been lifted off your shoulders. It could be the very weight of Saturn moving or the very weight of this year finally ending. You know, this could be energetic burdens. This doesn't have to be a real burden. I don't think a lot of you are literally carrying a lot. I think this is metaphorical. I think this is metaphorical for, you know, even passion can be heavy, especially when it's not utilized in the right way. So if you feel like you're hanging on to too much, let it go. And you want to show appreciation. And maybe you do release some of those This literally came out reversed, but I put it sideways because I think there's something here with that some of you are still hanging on to those things, but either way, it's a number 10. And 10s mean completion. So, you know, I do believe that there's something there that you want to appreciate. Even if you are still carrying these burdens around, some of these burdens are children. Some of our burdens we have to appreciate. I've learned a lot from the weight I've had to carry around in the world. And when you look at it in a different way, it doesn't even seem like weight. You know, responsibility can be very heavy, but responsibility also gives you the feeling of purpose. Okay, so you want to show appreciation for that, Scorpio, because you have a strong purpose in this world. You know, look what you're capable of doing. You're capable of carrying a lot emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. However it applies to you. You can take on a lot. You're a very strong zodiac sign and a very intense zodiac sign. So you want to show appreciation to the beast in you that helps you get through certain energies. And you also want to appreciate that angelic pure. Remember I told you you're the purest sign. So how is it that you accomplish being an angel and a tiger at the same time, Scorpio? I might make your video about that. I might name it The Tiger and the Angel, or The Tiger Angel, or The Fierce Angel, something like that. Something like that is going to be the title of your video. Maybe, unless I've come up with another title down here. but you really want to show appreciation. This could be showing appreciation to yourself or to the universe or to other people. Maybe this isn't you. Maybe for some of you, this is someone else who's carried a lot of weight for you. So however it may go, Scorpio, you just want to show appreciation. And you're very kind. I love when Scorpio gets in that mood where they're giving and when they give themselves a little bit to people, because it's really worth it, and it's something that you remember forever when a Scorpio gives themselves to you. Okay? So just show appreciation, and I don't know what it is that you're going to do to show this appreciation, but find out how it works best for you, okay? Now, the next card we have, and this could be appreciation that you manifest, okay? The loving appreciate, you know how I'm just kind of using these cards here. But the next card we have is nature. So the electricity is coming in. This is a shock. You know, this is Mercury retrograde right here when we reach the third card. Okay, so we're kind of reaching the. It's interesting that the first week of December is symbolized by a completion for you. You know, it kind of makes sense that you'd be completing things around that time. It's actually really good and cool. I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you get this burden released early, because you don't want it to be down here, and I don't see it here. You know, you go from the Ten of Wands to the Page of Wands, and you have the Ace of Wands here as well. So that burden really does lighten up after you balance things out and after you allow love. So going back to nature here, this card came out for Tarot Tuesday, and it's about Mother Nature, okay? It's about this. When this card comes up, it talks about getting out. You know, it talks about, it literally talks about working too much. So some of you have been all work and no play this year, and you really need to balance things out with just going for a walk or going for a bike ride or going outside for a few minutes and just taking in a few deep breaths, because you've really been in a place of mental anxiety. Now, when we only focus on money and our job and cooking dinner and our children and our family, you know, the responsibilities in life, you know, it becomes very easy to forget the more simple things in life, which are that the sun shines and that the moon comes out in the elements, you know, like kind of like I'm getting the sense of a child, our inner child. You know, we grow and we grow and we grow away from that inner child, unfortunately. And it's just kind of backwards to me, you know, how life does that. But I'm seeing a lot of mental anxiety here, and it's mental anxiety that is causing the universe to kind of guide you to Mother Nature. You know, when we go outside, it's very, very healing. This talks about planet Earth too. The electrons in planet Earth. You know, when you walk barefoot outside and, you know, you kind of absorb some of those healing and cleansing electrons on our planet. Yeah, that's awesome. Where I live, I live in Michigan, so it's very cold here. There's a lot of snow outside. So when I got this card a couple days ago or a few days ago for Tarot Tuesday, you know, I made sure to mention that even if it's cold outside, make sure you go outside more, or that you open your window. That's what I do. I've been making sure, and I've been doing this subconsciously, you know, but it's something I just noticed just now talking to you, that it's just about incorporating nature in your life. So that can mean a lot of different things. Like, it's very cold out for me, but I sit next to my window when I record my videos, so I've been making sure to open my blinds. And you know what that does for me? I stare out the window a lot more when I do that, so it makes me look a little bit weird in my readings, because I'm not looking at the camera. I'm just kind of looking up at what seems to be nothing, because the people behind the camera can't see. But then, of course, I just mentioned, okay, guys, I'm staring out my window. But so yeah, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as opening your windows. You know, opening your windows so that you can see what Mother Nature is doing. Is it raining? Is it storming? Is it snowing? Is it sunny out? Like, what is your environment, Scorpio? What does your nature environment look like? This is plants, you know, this is earth, this is everything. And another thing that I'd like to add here is that we can learn a lot from Mother Nature if we just look at things in a different way. So for me personally, Mother Nature is rather cold right now, you know, and it's interesting that we're coming up on the winter solstice. You know, because the trees have completely went bare, you know, and that's interesting because that's a transformation, right? When the trees let their leaves fall and die. And we did talk a lot about letting things die for you this time, Scorpio. So that's what I mean by learning. Like, just by observing the trees, we can learn to be grounded and we can learn to let go. Isn't it so amazing how much Mother Nature can teach us? We are Mother Nature. Mother Nature is constantly responding to the energy of humanity. And that's something that a lot of people don't know. So we can look at these storms as just storms, or we can look at these storms as metaphors for our own life. So we do see this angel here who's decided to grab, he's actually controlling that lightning, okay? You can control the lightning in your life. You can control the thunder and the clouds. They all mean something to you. But for the most part, Scorpio, this is just talking about getting more in touch with nature in some way. You know, sometimes I just type in YouTube, I type in rain meditation, and there's this beautiful music with rain, and I have a really good imagination, so that's just the sounds or certain smells are enough for me to take me to a different place. And if you're feeling like this, I definitely suggest mentally going to a different place. So this is like mentally involving yourself in nature. So open those shades, Scorpio. Take about 5 or 10 minutes out of your day to just appreciate Mother Nature and to appreciate planet Earth. And that's interesting that show appreciation is coming up right before nature. So you definitely want to show appreciation to planet Earth, and you want to show appreciation to nature and to all the different elements that you can see. So even if you take a notepad and just stare out your window and take note of, oh, today I saw a bird and it reminded me of my inner guidance. You know, I really wish I could take flight like that bird. I'm telling you, it gets deep. If you just open up and use your imagination, I think some of you do. So we have that, and that's the first row of your reading. And remember, we have you are understood at the bottom of the deck. Okay, and you're definitely understood. Look through the situation. You are understood, and you're understood in your isolation as well, because we have the Virgo card. So there's a lot about going inwards, you know, protecting your light this month, and self-reflection. So you may want to spend some solitude in nature. I remember one time I sat underneath a tree for about an hour. I read a few chapters of a book, and I didn't walk away the same person I did as when I went to that tree. So we have You Are Special coming up. And I really like this card for you, Scorpio. This is the angels literally reminding you of how special and unique you are as a person. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told Libra. You are so... Do you understand how unique and different each human being is from each other? There are no more me's out there. There's only one me, and there's only one you. How beautiful is that? How lame would it be if we all were the exact same? That would just be such a boring world. And I think we would judge each other a lot if we were all the same. Because, and I know we already do that, which is so ironic. But I think we'd do it even more if we were all the same. Because we would personally identify too much with one another. Whereas I know that's a good thing sometimes, but it's also a good thing to know that you're not like anyone else. And the angels want you to know that. You are literally so unique, just like a snowflake. You have your own entire birth chart. You were born for a reason. And you were born when the planets were in a certain area. So you really, you know, I don't know if many of you know your birth chart. And if you would like to know your birth chart, that is a service that I offer. I do offer birth chart analyzation, and I'm very skilled in birth chart. It's something I've worked on and studied all year long, and I've grown very passionate about all that I've learned and experienced within the birth chart, especially within my own birth chart. So, you know, if that's something you're interested in, you know, feel free to email me or message me. But you are very special, Scorpio. And I see this butterfly here. Something I noticed for the Libra reading as well. There's this butterfly by her. So you want to know that you are special within your transformations, and that you literally used to be a caterpillar. You know, we all have that kind of caterpillar side of our personality, and we all have the butterfly, you know, but the butterfly and the caterpillar, it's like they exist at the same time in a very unique way. Because I almost said that the caterpillar and the butterfly can't exist together, but that's not true. So just know that certain things that may not be in your life anymore in the middle of this month or currently or maybe in the future, that it didn't align with your transformations, you know. But don't allow that to get you down. Don't allow that to take away from the specialness of who you are, because you are literally so special. Scorpio is seriously such an interesting zodiac sign. The way that you guys transform, the way that you grow, and the way that you kind of become reborn. You guys are the phoenix. And I'm not sure if many of you know what the phoenix bird is, but they die and they become ash, and then they become reborn throughout that. Like the phoenix rises above the ashes, so ashes to ashes, dust to dust, yet they can still become reborn. It's like the caterpillar again. I'm seeing this caterpillar who's like, I don't think caterpillars are afraid to go into that cocoon, and they hang there, and they keep in mind how beautiful that butterfly is going to be. You are a beautiful butterfly now. Even the men, come on now, guys. You guys are beautiful butterflies too. Okay? And you went through a lot as a caterpillar. So you're a very special butterfly now. And that is coming out with the Eight of Pentacles. And that's interesting. You are the number 8. You're the 8th house. So I see that there's a lot of value here, you know. This is you again, alone in your finances, you know, and you do have that 2nd and 8th house thing. So this is you really working hard. You might share some of these pentacles with some people. Literally. The 6 of Pentacles is all about balance and finances, and it's all about the give and the take. Sometimes you're a beggar, sometimes you're a giver. Sometimes you're a giver, sometimes you're a taker. And you really want to make sure you're balancing out those areas in life, because look how hard you've worked. And these pentacles aren't just money. It's not just finances. This is anything that you value. You know, Scorpio is a very hard-working sign. You know? I know a lot of hard-working Scorpios. And when all else fails, you can create your own value. It's a part of being Taurus's opposite. Scorpio, one of your magical powers is being able to create value out of nothing. I think Taurus is jealous of you because of that. Not in a bad way. But, you know, maybe you're jealous of how grounded Taurus is. You know, we all have beef as zodiac. You know what I mean? We all have differences as zodiacs. Well, Scorpio, you know what it takes to just create your own value. Look at this man. He's created all these pentacles here lined up. You see how these are all lined up? Well, he's created each and every one of them. He didn't hire somebody else to make his pentacles. He didn't ask somebody else to make his pentacles. He went out, he traveled a little bit far away from home. You see the city in the background? He needed to be by himself. He needed to be by himself. And it's interesting. Virgo is a very hardworking sign too. This is about your lifestyle. So there is something about your lifestyle coming up as well. Some of you could be separating from a home situation, maybe from a girlfriend or boyfriend or a family situation, in order to do something that makes you money. For some reason, I'm hearing the military for some of you, because the military, it keeps you away from home. See how he's away from home? So that can be metaphorical for that. Some of you could be really far away from your hometown, or you could be far away from comfort, and it's a sacrifice you're willing to make. Because look at the pentacles you have in the end. You really value this work, whatever this is. This isn't literal. Please take this as a metaphor. But whatever it is, I see that you're working really hard on it. And this could be working on your own values as well. So if you value basketball, or if you value cooking, or if you value communication, this is a symbol for all of you. All of it, because come on now, you guys are all different, and there's about 400 of you watching this. So there's a possibility there that a lot of you are working on different things. But just know the message here is that you're special, and that you're special enough to create anything that you want. You're literally creating money here. So somebody laughed at you and said, y'all, you ain't got no money, Scorpio. And you're like, bullshit. I just went through a 2nd house new moon. What are you talking about? So interesting. Come the 18th. You know, because Sagittarius is your 2nd house. You could really be, this is you planting new seeds for the future. And in order to do that, you may need to separate yourself and go work very hard. I kind of picture a man out in his garage. You know, someone who likes to put together paper ships in a bottle, or some type of tedious project. You know, but just focus, Scorpio, and concentrate. And in the end, you're going to have all this pentacle. You're going to have all this value. And you're going to be very special because of that. Now, moving on. to the middle of your reading, which I think is pretty significant for all the readings, because this is kind of the center of the reading, right? So this is what everything is centered around. Everything is centered around you thinking about something this month. So think about it. This is Spirit's way of telling you that it's really important that you're thinking about what you do and what you don't do this month, Scorpio. So think about that. This is a very interesting card, and it's interesting that it looks like a winter wonderland as well. Like, I do believe it's snowing in this card, so if some of you are in snowier areas, and it's interesting that she went out into nature. You know, she went out into nature. And, you know, doing that this month is really going to free up some of that mental space and anxiety that you may be experiencing. And I promise you, mark my words, if you're feeling mentally anxiety, because this is a mental situation. I don't know if I talked much about this, but this is mental. This is an air energy. This is swords. And she's just up at night. She's experiencing insomnia and psychic attacks. And it's interesting, she's wearing white here. And then this is a lady who's wearing all white too. So I'm just going back to this message a little bit. In order to grab onto that electric power that you have to get out of your head, Scorpio. Get out of your head. You were in your head a lot in the first, come December. But then I see you working on yourself because you realize that you're special. You're too special. You're too special to be dealing with that kind of stuff. So you just want to think about it. And I know that's pretty interesting, you know. Like, there's not much more I can say about this card because really all that Spirit is telling me is that you need to think about it. And it's different for all of you. Some of you need to think about a relationship. Some of you need to think about a job. Now, let me just read here a little bit about what this card means specifically, because there may be a message here for you. We're just going to figure out a little bit more about what it means. Okay, so this card asks you to step back from your current path, your current thought process, and review the situation you're asking about. There's an unseen aspect that the angels guide you to slow down so you can move forward within the whole picture in sight. This card can also be cautionary. If you were about to make a radical change impulsively, then you need to think about it before you do that. While it may still be the best path for you, this card asks you to look at it in an alternative. Look into the alternatives first, okay? So look at the other options you have. You are inquisitively sensitive to energy, and your mission here is to heal and transform negative energies into positive. However, there's always a better way to do so. So this card asks you to do your research and research your options for making the most healthiest changes. So, okay, this is like a waiting energy, you know? That's kind of the energy that I was feeling from it. There's some kind of hidden aspect that you're not fully aware of, and this is smack dab in the middle of your reading, and it's smack dab in the middle of the month as well. So right now, the 16th, like as soon as I get this video uploaded, this energy is in full effect. So you really want to think about what you're doing, Scorpio, because you don't have all of the pieces yet. Okay, we're going to get to the ending of your reading here, and we may take a look into these unseen aspects. And it's interesting that you're a Scorpio, and you literally rule things that are hidden. You know, you're the 8th house of hidden intimacy, and you're like very hidden. The 8th house is barely can see it. You know, it's very mysterious, yet very pure. And that's exactly the kind of energy I'm thinking here with this card. But you want to make sure that you don't... I'm surprised the Knight of Swords didn't come out for this card, because the Knight of Swords, and it probably didn't come out because you guys aren't exactly moving forward without any regard to consequences. That's the Knight of Swords for you. And there's just not a go, go, go energy with this card. We have it paired with the 5 of Wands. So it's interesting that Spirit... Let's take a look here at this 5 of Wands. A lot of fire in your reading. A lot of fire. And a lot of swords in your reading. A lot of everything, Scorpio. 5 of Wands is symbolic for energies going everywhere. And it makes sense because when energies are going everywhere, okay, look at how many different directions this path. Everybody has a wand. This reminds me of our world. Whenever I see this card, it reminds me of like politics and stuff. It reminds me of a group of people who are all different. They all have different backgrounds. They all have different needs and wants. So when you have people, when you have 5 or more, all it takes is 5 people to create an energy like this, interestingly enough. But they all think differently, and they all have different ambitions and goals as well. So you could be dealing with a situation where, you know, nothing's clear because everybody's swinging their wand this way and that way, and they're pretty lucky that they're not hitting each other because no one's getting hit here. But if you're not careful, if this energy goes on for too long, before you know it, you're going to be knocking, you know, what happens when, think about, all right, this is what Spirit just showed me. Think about a highway. There's a reason why one side of the highway is going one way and the other side of the highway is going another. So we have this kind of split that happens, right? So people who are going this way aren't going to be on the same, you know, even just think, you don't have to think of a highway, but this is a really busy, fast-paced energy, so it's interesting to think of a highway. But you can think of any two-way road. I know some roads have one-way traffic. You know how, so I'm seeing a sign here. It says one way. Spirit just showed me that, one way. And that could be symbolic because, you know, you're in your head a lot this month, thinking that there's just this one way to do something. But Scorpio, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and this is right in the middle of your reading, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Wait till I continue with this reading. You figure it out. But as of right now, whenever this moment occurs for you in December, you're being asked to slow down. Look at what Spirit did for you. This is a beautiful message. You need to think about it. You need to think about all the different angles. This is what this card mentioned. It mentioned weighing out your other options, right? If this now it's interesting. The Ace of Wands is a new beginning. This is what's coming up next. This is like the ending of the middle of the month. It's like you actually do choose one course of action, but you're not gonna choose that one course of action with all this going on. You know, these energies need to calm down. It's like this could be each and different personalities of you or different sides of yourself, right? This is the side of you that wants to go this way, and this is the side of you that wants to be respected and listened to. This is the side of you who just wants to have fun. This is the side of you who wants love. This is the side of you who wants to be alone. So you can't, this is like eat your cake. You want to have ice cream and cake and chocolate, all these things. Okay, Scorpio, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too, is what I heard Spirit say. So you have to humble yourself. And what happens when you humble yourself? You come into a place where you have this is not quiet. If I could press play, it would be like you would hear a lot of people talking, like an auditorium. And that was like my impression of chaos right there, that little thing that I just did. That was interesting. But all of these people have a voice, and all of these people have a different, remember how I said, and that's interesting, that you're coming up as special before this chaos. You are special, and you do know how to handle a lot of different energies at once. So I see you here. This is literally just you. For some of you, this is 5 people in your life or more than 5 people, but this is more than one person. But for some of you, I'm receiving this message here that you are trying to carry the weight. It's like you were trying to carry it all, but you dropped this burden, and that allowed room for other people to come in and just, you know, whereas I see why you were carrying all the wands yourself, because at least they're all going the right direction. Right? At least they're all face up. At least nobody's getting, this is, I don't know, but look what it did to you. It tired you out. It burdened you. You needed water after that. After all that work, you literally needed to replenish a part of yourself. But remember, that's sideways. Some of you let that go. But unfortunately, because this is the 5 of Wands, this is half interesting. This is half of 10. The 5 of Wands is half of this energy. So I see, Scorpio, your thought process. I see that you wanted to just carry it all because you wanted everything to go in the right direction, but it wasn't working for you. It caused you a lot of mental anxiety. You know, you literally had to like step outside for a smoke, you know, to get some fresh air up in this mother. So some of you let that burden go, and part of that, this is coming up right beneath that. This is so we're not no longer working with the 10 of Wands. We're working with the 5 of Wands. So that shows me that your burden lessened by half, and that's great. So maybe you let other people in on the journey, and this, I do see this as you. I wish that there was only one person here, but it'd be kind of hard to depict different. But isn't it weird that this can go on inside of one person, which is probably why, I don't know why I'm holding this up with the "You Are Special" card. I picked it up a little while ago. You are special. Special enough to single just one of those energies out. You're special enough to go from the 10 of Wands to the 5 of Wands to the Ace of Wands to the Page of Wands. So not only do you take this Ace of Wands, you take it and you create a new journey for yourself. But first, you know, we have to get everybody going in the same direction, because there's some people who don't agree. There's certain parts of yourself. So for some of you, this is different people. For some of you, this is yourself. And you need to get yourself on the same, you know, you need to get everything aligned. All right, remember that highway I was talking about? You are in the middle of December, in the main part of your reading. It's like you decided to pull over on the side of the road, because all of a sudden I'm seeing that cars are coming towards you, and cards are pulling. There's things that are leaving you and coming towards you. There's just, I see like a New York type of setting, like bumper to bumper traffic. That's what this card reminds me of. But you just need to think about it. Think about all these different people in your life. Think about all these different things that you need to accomplish and get them going in one direction. But think about it first. Don't try to handle it all, because we did this in the beginning of the month, right? This was what caused you to have to show appreciation in the first place. You dropped this. So you don't want to handle it all at once by yourself. Take these energies and just listen to each and every one of them. Just listen to what they're all trying to tell you. They're all trying to tell you something. Each of these different little guys have a different message for you. But you do find some, after you think about it, moving on to the next parts of your reading, you do find a way to deal with this energy. You know, instead of carrying them all at once, you take one of the wands and just control them all with one of them. So not only do you have all the power, but you also it's like work smarter, not harder. There you go. Something just told me that. So thank you, divine entity. Whatever that was, it just whispered that to me. And I think that's a good interpretation of this, because you're working smarter now, not harder. And this could be a chaotic situation that you just help calm, okay? Because you have the power to. The Ace of Wands is a very powerful and passionate new beginning. Now, this is coming out with pray. So the angels are telling me and showing you through this card that it's very important that you're praying this month, especially towards the middle. This is I would say this is around that new moon. This is around that stellium in Sagittarius we were talking about. This is around the winter solstice. And this is Capricorn season coming in now, middle of December. You know, we're days away from all this energy. So, Scorpio, pray. And I don't know, everybody's different religious backgrounds. This card talks a lot about different religious backgrounds, and that's why everybody's going a different direction, because everybody believes in a different thing. This is Sagittarius season. Sagittarius is expanding all of our personal beliefs and knowledge. So it's interesting that belief and knowledge are coming up for you in the middle, because we have think about it, which is a cognitive, mental energy. To think about something is very mental. And then we have all these different, so everybody's thinking a different thing here is another message for you guys. So this could be a family situation where everybody thinks something differently. But you start focusing on one thought rather than all these. See, this is weird. But up here in the beginning of the month, you guys were trying to do everything yourself. You were trying to complete these things, but look what it did to you. It really did keep you up at night. It really did take a toll on your mentals. And I do hope that you guys went out, or that you're going out and getting that fresh breath air, or just taking a drive, whatever it is for you Scorpios. But you do wind up taking one of those passionate thoughts. Instead of this, for some of you, this is happening inside your brain. And there's a lot of different thoughts going everywhere. These are passionate thoughts flying every which way that are about to collide with one another. But before they collide, you know, you want to pray for clarity. Interesting that it's coming up beneath the nine of swords. If I were to wake up from a nightmare, I would pray. And she does look a little bit like she's praying. Isn't that kind of interesting? So you want to think about it. I mean, it's interesting that these cards are coming up because these are two thinking energies, but they look a lot different from each other, right? So this is what happens when you decide to think about everything all at once, and when you decide to just center yourself, this is the center of your reading. Look how pure she looks. Both of them are in white. It's just that this lady is too trapped inside her mind to make sense out of everything. So it's like these energies go very much together. It's the same situation, except it's just changed a little bit. So you're being asked to think, but just not all at the same time. Okay? Not all at the same time, because when you do that, it's just chaos. But when you hang on to one passionate thought, which I believe prayer is going to help you with. I believe prayer is going to help you a lot this month. I think it's going to help you find appreciation. It's going to help you manifest. It's going to help you in the love department. So you're being asked to, after you think about it, after you are special, right? And after you think about these things, because there's a lot about thinking here, and that's probably because of Mercury retrograde. This is when Mercury goes back direct, right here. So when Mercury goes back direct, you can put your praying hands back together. It's probably kind of a little bit hard to pray when Mercury's retrograde, right? Because it's all about mental and communication. You know, when we pray, that's a form of communication with God. And it's right underneath this Nine of Swords energy. So, you know, if you wake up at night from a nightmare, or if you're suffering from insomnia, just pray. And it's interesting that I say that to you in a form of advice because, you know, beginning of December, I did have some insomnia myself. I mean, I'm not a person who goes to sleep before 4 a.m. ever. And that's just something that I've, you know, unfortunately became comfortable with in my, but I'm a night owl. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. It's just, it is sometimes. But it's interesting. I've had to actually pray to the archangels. You know, like my mind kept spinning, and it was just making me sick as I'm laying there trying to go to sleep. And you know what I did? I just said, okay, archangels. I call upon the 4 archangels of the divine corners of the universe. Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, all these different angels that I can call on. And you can call on any different ones. You want to do studying, you want to read up on what different angels specialize in, but any angel can help you at any time. And you want to know something? As soon as I would to do that, it would be minutes later that my mind kind of redirected, and sometimes you have to pray for things like that. So this is, you know, the ending of the middle of the month, and I see you ending it in passionate prayer. And that makes sense because Mercury is going to be going back direct. This is going to be after a lot of the harsher energies come to a close. I mean, there's still going to be some energies that we have to deal with, but for the most part, all of the transformation, you know, I feel like the transition part of a transformation, like the actual shedding of the skin of the snake or the getting out of the cocoon as the butterfly, is the hardest part. But being the butterfly and being that snake with the new skin, that part isn't hard. It's actually the change, the healing that has to take place that is painful. You know, it's not ever the wound that actually it's not actually the wound that hurts. It's the healing that hurts. So there's some passionate prayer here, and you guys are probably praying about different things, but please make sure that you are praying in the month of December because it's coming up in your reading. And I see that if you pray, the hand of God is literally going to come out of the sky and deliver you what you need. This is what you need to handle this and this. You know, this is very fiery energy. This is very passionate energy, and when it's utilized correctly, it doesn't feel that heavy. It doesn't feel that chaotic, but this is a heaviness. This is a chaos. Okay? And I feel that if you pray for the Ace of Wands, you will receive it. Ask and you will receive, Scorpio. Talk to God. God is our best friend. And I know a lot of Scorpios I know are pretty passionate about that. So it's interesting that we're still in Sagittarius season here, coming up on the end of it. And you're being asked to pray, and that has everything to do with beliefs, right? It has everything to do with the 9th house. So let's go ahead and look into the future a little bit. What can we expect, how the month is going to end? So after all that, Scorpio, it's no wonder that you're going to have to be taking care of yourself. All right, self-care is coming up strongly for your reading at the end. So, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in and experience everything that we just covered. And I can only imagine, you know, like all of us, I just know collectively that we're going through a lot. So don't be afraid to do the thing. You know, this angel is replenishing his or herself in the form of, it's showing you a river here. And this angel is really just by the handful drinking this water. I mean, this is like dehydration. And I'm being led. So this may have something to do with this energy, this burden that you may or may not have released in the beginning of the month. So the ending of the month, you're being shown in the beginning of the month. So you let a certain, okay. So that beast of yours in the beginning of the month needed to drink. You see how the angel is guiding the tiger to drink? Well, now at the end of the month, it's time for the angel to drink. Do you see that? Now the angel in the picture is drinking. So you're smart, Scorpio. You are smart. You are important. You are special. You is kind. And I'm just so blown away by your energy right now, because look how smart you are. You let the beast drink first. I don't even know if you knew you were doing this, but I see it in your energy that you let a dark part of you calm down. The part of you that carried all this, that kept all this in. This part of you. You knew that you guys are really good with energy. You knew that you knew what part of you needed to drink. You knew that there would be a time for both of these characters to get replenished. So how wonderful that we see this tiger drinking here, and now we see this angel drinking, and we have the angel in this picture as well. So that's just what the message is here. That's how I'm reading that for you. That beginning of the month, you let because come on, Scorpio, we're all light and dark here. I hope all y'all know that. Come on now, you're the 8th house. So very interesting. So we have that the purity. Maybe that tiger drinking transformed it, and it's no longer there. That dark part of you, that part of you that could potentially maul apart another person. Because now we have you standing alone as an angel, and since you taught that to that tiger, and to, you know, the tiger, the beast in you, now it's time for the angel to replenish herself. Whatever that may mean, please hear this in metaphors. Please hear this as symbols, because that's exactly what tarot is. So we have you taking care of yourself because you appreciate yourself now. So you need to show appreciation to yourself in the beginning of the month, so that you are a person who's able to see that you need to take care of yourself at the end of the month. Someone who doesn't appreciate themselves isn't going to take care of themselves. It takes a lot of self-love and confidence to do this. Someone who doesn't care about themselves isn't going to know that they need to drink from this emotional pond. You need to get back in touch with your emotions, because Scorpio, when water signs aren't emotionally okay, they're not okay at all. And it's not being in touch with our emotions that actually allows energy like this in, believe it or not. And energy like this in, believe it or not. I'm going to leave that upside down for you guys, just so that that's my way of setting the intent of you to drop that burden, but to also appreciate what you learn from the burden. Learn from what you're carrying around. And I think a lot of you are carrying around a lot of passionate emotion. A lot of people think passion is a good thing, but we can be very passionate about dark things. This woman here is very passionate about overthinking. Isn't that funny? How we can take something beautiful and positive and make it into something negative. So you just want to be careful because you're carrying around a lot of passionate burdens in the beginning of the month. But don't worry, I put that did come up reversed for you. It kind of came out sideways. So, but I've got it. I'm gonna leave it there in the reverse so that's my way of sending out good energy for you all. Those of you, anyways, not all of you are going to be going through this. So, you know how I was talking about, you see this here, right? You see how this angel is replenishing his or herself? It's like his wings are gaining power as he drinks more and more from this pond. It's like the fountain of youth, only for emotions or for mental clarity. Either way, you're dehydrated. First, the beast was dehydrated in you. The dark in you was dehydrated. Now the light is dehydrated. It's all about balance, baby. So we have there that angel drinking from the water. Well, it's interesting that it came out with the 8 of Swords. Interesting in more than one way. Scorpio, this card comes out when a person is trapped mentally. We had you trapped mentally in the beginning of the month as well. But you release some of those burdens. In the beginning of the month, you were just thinking about these burdens. But it's as if it takes on a different form here at the end of the month. Make sure you're not binding yourself. Make sure you're not blindfolding. Don't bind or blind yourself. Don't bind or blind yourself, Scorpio. This is a very binding and blinding energy. She's all cramped up mentally. So this is what you look like inside. This is what some of you look like inside your mind. Now, it's never good to be trapped mentally inside our own minds. In my opinion, mental prisons are worse than real prisons. So I'm a unique tarot reader. I don't see this card. Every time this card comes up for a tarot reader, the ones I watch anyways, I see so often that people say, this is just a mental prison. You can get out of this. Just wake up. Just take the blindfold off. Newsflash, people. It's a lot harder to get out of a mental prison than it, like, I have a better chance, and I've talked about this last year. I have a better chance at getting out of a mental prison than I have a better chance at getting out of an actual prison than I do a mental prison. This is like an insane asylum. This is like an insane asylum. This is what it feels like, you know. Sometimes they put those straitjackets on you. It's like you see and hear things that are only in your mind and people think you're crazy. Well, that's coming out for some certain, not literally. I'm just saying, this is the energy of this card. This woman is made to feel crazy inside her own head. But this is the main part that I want to talk to you guys about, which is the feet of this woman. When I see this card, it's very important to take note that her feet are not in the water. Water symbolizes emotion, Scorpio, and this is the 8 card. So this is your energy. 8 is you. You're the 8th house. Okay? And let me tell you, the 8 is a very important number in this reading. And I'm going to explain that here in a minute. But back to the feet here. Her feet there's water beneath her. So she has emotions. This is like feeling trapped inside of your mind. And the way out is actually emotions. That's what people don't know. Like, in this card, if this woman were to get in touch with how she feels, she would realize, hey, I don't like feeling bound up. I need to like hawk out and break these bondages, remove the blindfold from my face so that I can see mentally and emotionally clearly. So place your feet in the water, Scorpio, because this is coming out with self-care. So we have an energy here that's literally feet in the water, all up in the water, drinking from the water. But it's coming out with this trapped energy. So you want to take care of yourself. And for us water signs, we always want to, it's interesting for you. It's interesting for you because you are constantly trying to accomplish mental energy. Always. You are constantly trying to accomplish mental stability. I think I said energy before, but I was looking at something on my wall that may or may not be a spider, but that's okay. Those are those mysterious energies. If anything, it's a sign This kind of looks like a web, right? This is a fly trapped. See how spirit works? This is a fly trapped inside of a web. I mean, even down to this part. You know how the spider, it it I don't know what they call that, but yeah, that's definitely a spider on my wall. And it's okay. It's like a little daddy long leg. But yeah, in Scorpio, I'm not sure if you know, but your energy is all about that kind of creepy stuff. It's about spiders and death and all that. And it's actually like in anybody else's reading, I'd probably be scared of this spider right now, but I'm not, because this is your energy. And spiders are not that scary, but it does become scary if you look at it like this. If you're that fly, like, and what I'm being led to say is, what's chaos for the fly is bliss for the spider. You know that quote. It says that what's chaos to the spider is normal. No, what's chaos to the fly is normal to the spider. You don't want to be in a mental web here. You don't want to allow people to feed off of you and to bind you up. Okay, so the way out is to put your feet in that water and to drink. Okay, and this is whatever that means to you, but you really do want to consume and really take in these energies that are feeling, whatever it is, you're deprived from it a little bit. And I think you may have accidentally let someone else, or either let yourself, deprive yourself from it. This is self-imprisonment. Some people say that this is self-imprisonment, and it does appear to be that way, right? And it is self-imprisonment if it's happening in our mind, but I don't want to rule out the fact that certain words and certain communications could have led here, So there is that there, Scorpio. But I'm happy to say that you kind of move on with balance, and you kind of move on with love coming here to the end of December. Now, the Allow Love card, it does talk a lot about authority. So I wanted to remind myself energetically to talk about Saturn when this card came up. This card talks about certain rules in our life. This came up for Virgo, so I see some of the more intense energies are dealing with, being told what to do. Sometimes we don't think people higher than us, or people, whatever authority figures mean to you. This could be a boss or something, but and this could be Mars as well. I do believe Mars will still be in your sign at the end of December. So the spirit is asking you to allow love instead of aggression. You see how she's offering her heart here in this picture? So it talks about this card literally in that little book. I read it yesterday, so I don't need to check it again. I don't really need a reminder here, because I remember that this card talks about authority, and how when people tell us what to do, people tell us what to change about ourselves, especially when we've been through so many transformations. It's like, look, bitch, I've worked so hard to be here that you're not going to fucking tell me what it is and ain't about myself. But instead of saying it like that, you can just see it as, this person is just wants the best for me. And, they're not trying to control me. They're literally have my best interest at heart. And of course, you need to use your intuition. Some people are really good at pretending to be that. So you want to offer your heart, and you want to accept only the hearts of purity. You don't need any more bad energies. This is the end of the year. We want to make sure we're going into the new year with love, not hate. Okay? And this card is coming out with the Six of Pentacles. So you want to allow love into your life. Some of you are this guy down here who needs help. Okay? He might be afraid to ask, but, he needs to receive. Just like when you were praying, ask and you shall receive. So this is about balance. You want to balance your finances. You want to make sure that you're, the give and the take. This is Six of Pentacles. And especially after working so hard on this Eight of Pentacles card, you created these pentacles. So if you want to give 2 of them away or something like that, that's up to you. But you want to do it with love, Scorpio. So allow balanced love into your life. And this man in the middle could very much be a boss. And those crumbs could be the little bit of a promotion that he's giving you. I don't know. You could be the man in the middle. It's different for all of you. But so if you are the man in the middle, you're allowing love to the men below you, men and women. If you are one of those people on their knees right now needing help, then you're going to have to realize that this person isn't someone who's more authority than me. This is a person who's a little bit more balanced than me right now. So I'm going to open my heart and allow love. Instead of making it make you feel small. You know what I mean? I don't really like that these men are depicted on the ground. If anything, they should have drew these men at an equal level, because I don't like that this person feels like he's getting only crumbs. You know what I mean? So just allow love, whatever that means to you. Now, it's interesting that we have allow love and we have send love, because this is what we're ending your reading with. So there's definitely some love here at the end of the month, all right? And it's after you do all this self-work, okay? So if this means that Scorpio needs love, I definitely send you my love, and I send you my light, and I send you the energies that you need to get through this. Because when this card comes up, it literally speaks to me in a way that someone may need love and that I might need to send love to them. But Scorpio, this could be the universe asking you. There could be, you have to pay attention to the end of the month, okay? Because you might come face to face with someone who needs love. And it's interesting, because these people at the bottom here really do need love. So you want to send love out, and it's like, before you send love, you have to allow love. Before you send love from your heart, you have to offer and allow your heart to be a thing, you know? And you also have to take care of yourself before you allow love. So it's interesting how your reading makes a lot of sense. And you may need to allow love in situations like this. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you is that over here we have an 8 and an 8. And this card is right above this card. So we literally have the 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords, okay? So 88, 8 is infinity. So, you know, where there was Pentacles before, there are now Swords. So you want to be careful, some of you, that in the middle of the month, you don't let all this hard work go to waste. You know, like, you don't want to get in a mental money prison. This is like a mental money prison. Like, I worked so hard for this money, and now I just feel trapped. You know, because money can be very limiting, and it can be very binding. And it's interesting that I use the word limiting, because this is a Saturn energy. Like, Saturn is very restricting, you know, and Saturn has been in your second house. So you want to say goodbye, and you want to replenish your second house after Saturn moves into Capricorn, because your finances have been feeling like this. You've been trying so hard to create money, but some of you have been feeling very restricted financially. But that's all over, especially after you send love. See, finances balance out. This is Capricorn moving into the third house. This is communication, though. Okay, so you don't want to feel trapped. You don't want this energy. You see how that turned into that? How it was in your second house, and then it moves into your third house. Or maybe this is how you're going to handle Capricorn in your third house, because Capricorn is a earth energy. So Capricorn might give you the oomph that you need to value communication. But I'm just seeing here that there's 2 8s. So when I see that, it's like a transformation. Like, those pentacles actually become these swords. But you don't want that. You don't want this to become a mental anxiety. You don't want to feel trapped in finances, because it's gonna flow. And I do see that you allow love there. So I think that's going to all transition when we move on at the end of the month. And I do see you, here's this fiery energy again. So we went from the 10 of Wands to the 5 of Wands to the Ace of Wands to the Page of Wands. So you really do pray and receive. This is right above this. So you do receive this Ace of Wands. And you start a new journey. I love seeing this. I love seeing love and passion at the end of your reading, Scorpio, because this is like moving into 2018 in a very passionate way. You look good, you feel good, you have this Ace of Wands, this powerful, passionate, fiery wand, this magical wand that you can use in order to set your future off right. So I love seeing that. You've conquered the pyramids, you've conquered, you know, you're sending passionate love, possibly even to yourself or to those around you who need it. And I love that. That's really great to end on. So I just want you to keep in mind that you are understood, you know, throughout your struggles and throughout your mental anxiety and even mental imprisonment, even chaos. You know, you are understood, and you're very, very loved, and you're very, very special. When you pray, you are very much understood by the Creator. Whether you're alone or whether you have someone else to share it with, you are definitely understood. And then, of course, we can't forget here everything that you've been through, Scorpio. I literally see pain transforming into love here. Where there was the Ten of Swords, it transforms into the Ace of Cups. Very beautiful energy. This is harsh, harsh, harsh pain and heartbreak, but then we reach that river finally. And the cup starts to flow. This is new love. This is a new beginning. Scorpio is going on a new beginning of love. And they get back in touch with their feelings, I see. This is a transformation of a new beginning, and it's fucking epic. The sun and the moon here, very powerful as well. This is an opposition of energy, and it's very, very beautiful. This could also be speaking to the new moon, because we see in the moon card there that the moon and the sun are there. And the sun is awareness, you know, so this is what's hidden. And you remember the High Priestess? So there's light and dark here as well. There's light, there's dark, there's what's hidden, there's what you're aware of. So look how magical you are, Scorpio. Like, I don't know too many people who can master the sun, and like, you're a walking eclipse. You are the High Priestess this month and heading into the new year. You've learned so much about the light and the dark, you know, so you're aware of what's hidden. And you could even hide some of the things that you're aware of, but in the most part, you're celebrating. You are celebrating what you're aware of. You're celebrating this moon energy. This is a Pisces and a Leo, so some of you could be dealing with a Pisces or a Leo. But, you know, I don't like to name signs that much. We do have a Virgo or a Taurus and an Aries here as well. But we have all the elements. We have fire, we have air, water, swords. So, I mean, pentacles, earth. So, you know, but this may be speaking to the new moon, because the sun and the moon, this is literally the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon card here. So when the sun and the moon are together, everything's gonna change for you. Like, I don't even know how these cards wind. This is so fucking magical. That's why your video is over 2 hours long. Of course, there is 15-minute intro. So there's like 30 minutes of just information about astrology. But come on now, I don't care. I had to talk to you guys about this. That new moon is going to be life-changing for you guys. I do see this as a new moon message as well. And I believe you're going to have a lot of clarity because of that. We have this King of Swords here. Scorpio, holy cow, that was what we call a powerful reading. Whoa. I do want your video to be able to upload, so I don't want it to get too long. My videos take a little while longer to upload sometimes. And, you know, that has to do with the Mercury retrograde, and it has to do with me having no Wi-Fi. But I'll get your video uploaded. This is too powerful not to upload for you. Like, I feel so many transformations taking place there. I do hope that this reading was relatable to some of you, or to all of you actually, but you know, I know that not everybody can relate to, but come on, I want to relate to that energy. Like, whoa. Please comment this month, because that is too powerful. And I pray that you guys still watch this video. I pray that you watch this video even though it's 2 hours long. It's worth it. Fast forward. I'm going to put a timestamp below so that you can just fast forward to the actual reading and skip all that astrology stuff, even though that's important too, guys. Your reading kind of ties in with that. Scorpio, oh my gosh, I love you guys so much. You guys are the water sign. You're the fixed water sign. You're my north node. You're my midheaven. The moon is in Scorpio right now. Maybe that's why there was such a powerful message for you guys. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm going to need to take a little break after this and just reflect, because that spoke to me too. You know, it's just amazing. It's amazing to see what you guys accomplished this year. You know, it's almost to the point of tears, but I don't want to cry. So I'm going to leave you there, Scorpio. I cannot wait to talk to you guys in January and see how we're going to start the year off. Be on the lookout for my Saturn videos as well, so we can talk about where karma is shifting for you. Alright guys, wishing you all my best. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later.